All right. Welcome back to the Great Factor Podcast. This week, we got another special one. We're talking about all the events that's happening this week in the news, from the war in Iran to all the wacky and crazy celebrity news. So sit back, enjoy, and let's have a ball. All right. This is the Great Factor Podcast. I'm your host, Michael. And again, we got the news for the week. So I'm going to be reading here and there off on from to the side. So I want to first say thank you for everyone who checked out my shorts last week, everyone who checked out my videos and podcasts last week. I want to thank you. Please continue to subscribe, share, comment, and do all that lovely stuff. So this week, when most people hear and think about war, what is the first thing that comes to mind? They picture tanks, soldiers, explosions, all that good stuff. But the real battlefield often stretches far beyond the front lines into the homes, wallets, and relationships of everyday people, from you to me. War doesn't just destroy cities, it reshapes society, changes people, and can shake the entire global economy. Yes. Oh, just think about that. What is war really about? It's only about a few things. It's about control, and it's about, money, basically controlling money. That is the only two things I see war is good for. Bad things come when war starts, and that's everything from loved ones passing away, from lives being taken, from cities and countries being destroyed and mangled, from the economy struggling, social impact of the war, everything. But what actually happens when a new war that begins? So we're going to talk about the social impact. When war begins, society itself begins to shift, all which ways. Fear of uncertainty spreads quickly. Propaganda and media narratives increase. Communities become divided politically. National identity and patriotism intensify. So all that is saying that division. Everything comes from war is division. It divides people, good, bad. It divides countries. It divides political stance. It divides economical and everything. The social, the narrative of war that we're hearing now is, of course, again, similar to what we heard before, weapons of mass destruction, nuclear weapons. That is what we're hearing, but is that the truth? It all seems to be a fight for oil. It seems to be a fight for control over oil. Oil is a big business. And we are seeing that. I hate to say that it is all about trying to see, and I mean, I would hate to say it's all about trying to control the oil, but it has been in the past, and history always repeats itself. We went through this before, and it shows that misinformation is out there. Show that we are all misinformed about what the war is. We have a president that is, choose my words, lack thereof trustworthy. So everything we hear is not always the truth. They had something about, it was not us who bombed this girls' school. It was them who bombed this girls' school. It is not us who started the war and struck first. It is them who started the war and struck first. How media frames and make everyone and every side an enemy. We got CBS, NBC, CNN, Fox. All those news outlets are framing the narrative in their light and in their eyes, and it's in their political stance. So is it true? Is what they're saying true? I don't know. I don't know. I just believe that a lot of it is hearsay, she say, and we're going to make it what we say, and what we say is going to be the right way. You know, we speak on personal impact. This is, where you make it, all about emotions and stuff. Families are separated. We have families going to war. We have families in the war zone that is being separated due to killings, due to needing to fight for their country, due to just separation from all the calamity that's going on. We got soldiers dealing with trauma. I've read somewhere where a lot of soldiers are saying that they're not willing to fight or go to war, and the ones who do go, I'm sure they have a lot of trauma that they deal with, and they come back to the states, and even the soldiers over across seas, they deal with a lot of trauma from seeing loved ones and friends die, seeing families die, being family members and being separated. That is, something. Civilians in the war zone, like I said earlier, is being separated, and then displacement due to bombings of their homes, their schools, their safe places. And where are they going? I pray and I hope that my kids and my family never have to deal with a situation of this magnitude here at home. Stress and anxiety is spreading where a lot of people are fearing that if I go to this place, or if I go to that place to visit, I may be kidnapped, killed, you know, or held for hostage or ransom. And all of that is true. So wherever you go, you stay prayed up and you stay in a positive mindset, and you stay where you feel safe. Oh, for the people living through it, or is it just a headline? It's something that they deal with daily, and it's a daily reality that they have to deal with. It's parents wounding. I mean, it's parents wondering if their children would ever be safe, not just today, but tomorrow and the next day. A lot of people who comes back from war has PTSD. They develop some kind of mental health issue, and they pass along those health issues and that PTSD, you know, generational trauma. It's passed on to the children that they love, to the family that they love, and to the community that they live in. And all that is hard, and therefore it takes a community and family to deal with this, deal with the trauma, deal with the PTSD, deal with the consequences of what war brings. And knowing that you are not the reason for war makes it that much greater. We got economic consequences. War reshapes the global economy almost immediately. But once they say, "Oh, we're going to war," that's it. There's no let's think about it. No, that's it. Things that happen like oil, energy prices shoot sky high. I mean, I'm over here in North Carolina, small town, and our gas one day was 280 something. The next day I looked, it was 360 something. So, and that was within a day's time frame. I haven't gotten gas since. So I don't know where it's at, but I can only think and say that it has gotten higher. Stock market has become very volatile, where stocks are reacting abruptly up and down. I just see that the bigger picture and the longer picture, that long as war continues, the stock market will have some kind of effect, and that's not a good effect. Supply chains collapse, government increase military spending. That is a big one. We spend millions and billions on war, maybe even trillions, to fight a war. Only benefits like the top 1%. Everybody else will probably not see much of an impact from that. I mean, yeah, your gas will go back down after war, possibly. Yeah, but for the most part, war is for the 1% to, yes, what am I trying to say? War is like for the 1% to profit. Me and you will never see a profit. I mean, I, not from war. We will not see a profit. Inflation rises where everything goes up, from clothes to gas to food to just normal everyday things that we take a granted for right now. And we see that every day. Like I got here, every missile fire has an economic price tag, and that cost eventually reaches everyday people through higher gas prices, higher food costs, and economic instability. And that's what I've been saying. Every time we drop a bomb, every time we bomb a school, every time we bomb a leader, every time we shoot a rocket, every time we fly a plane, it all just it kind of justify the price tag of every single thing going up. Like the domino effect. War isn't just military. War isn't just a military event. It's a chain reaction. Social tension leads to a political decision. Political decision affects economics. Economic pressure affects families. That's it. That says everything. War isn't just big business, but it's also not good for you, not good for the planet, not good for society, not good for, you know, bringing the world together. It only divides, as I said earlier, it's a division tactic. If we all came together, we were, we could change a lot of things. And that is where they keep us divided, they keep us separated, and everyone has a political stance, and everyone has a way of thinking, and that's cool, and that's a violent, and I mean, valid. That's a valid thing to have. Everyone has that, but if we don't come together as a race, as a people, what can we do? Just think about that. So that's enough for the little downtime. Now we're going to talk a little bit about celebrities in the news. I know we jumping around a little bit, but we're trying to lighten it up again a little bit, just a little bit here. So this week's celebrity news, we got the big one. Britney Spears. Oops, I did it again. Okay, I don't know if she did it before or not, but she was arrested for DUI. That's one of the most talked about events, you know, in, I guess, celebrity news. Spears was arrested in California on suspicion of DUI and was later released after being cited. And she put on her occupation as celebrity. I don't know what that occupation is, but I might try that on my next application. Celebrity. Um, the incident comes shortly after she has sold her music catalog for about $200 million. Hey, must be nice to be Britney. And then we got Kevin Bacon and Ira Sedgwick, family movie project. They're creating a movie project with their real life family, and it's going to be a horror comedy called Family Movie. The film is scheduled to premiere in film festivals coming up this year. It's described as a meta horror story about a dysfunctional film industry family trying to complete a movie. That that's how it is, But just think about that. Could you create a movie with the Meta Ray Bans? And how good would that be? I mean, it's a first person POV, so you will see everything as from the eyes of the actual person, which that's how movies are. So hey, it might work. Then we got Rihanna. Her home was shot up by a suspect who was later caught fleeing. So that brings to what I'm trying to say. Mental health. I harp on mental health every week, and I try to at least throw something in there. Could that be mental health? I'm pretty sure that's what they're going to claim and play it out in court. But is that mental health? Possibly shooting someone's house up, um, possibly injuring them. Even worse, killing them or their family. I think some of it you have to take accountability for the things you do. If it is mental health, then there need to be seek and sought mental health for help for that person. But if not, they need to be, you know, they need to be brought to justice, and justice needs to be served. I mean, that's it. But I'm gonna end this podcast today with a something to think about. War may begin with a single decision by leaders, but its consequences ripple through society for decades. This war will not just be if it does go to a full blown out war. It won't just be just this week, this month, this year. It will last for a while. It will last for years, and your children will have to deal with this war. It changes economics, reshapes culture, and leave marks on people that can last forever. So I have one final question for you. Do you think modern wars are fought on battlefields or in economic media and public opinion? What do you think? Think think long, and until next time, think long, think strong, think deep. Love each and every one of you. Take care.